Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, May.
And I'm Laura, and today we are going to be talking about some New York City drama, kind of. And never mind.
What were you
I was going to say, and drama involving black men.
Yes, that's true.
It's true. It's just true, folks. We're talking about the indictment of Eric Adams.
Yes, and P. Diddy updates that piece of fucking garbage. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about those two things and some updates on P. Diddy. Yeah, it's dark. It's bleak.
A dark episode. Actually, the Eric Adams stuff is like not that dark, minus like corruption.
Yeah, but
the
like
stuff he did was like, no one died.
Nobody died.
No one's getting diddled.
No one's getting diddled that we know of.
Yet.
Anyway,
enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's risque business news.
I love that that's the upside for Eric Adams is I'm like, he didn't diddle anyone.
Right.
At like minors. So that's a big win for him.
Huge win.
We call that for this elected official, that's all we can ask. Am I right?
Honestly, that's a lot more than a number of people can say. So that's
lately I'm like, this is the fucking bar that we now have.
100%.
But he did do some bad things. I looked into it because it was really confusing.
It was.
I was like, he did what? Involving who? Turkey?
Right. Yeah, who knows?
Turkey the person? What? No, it's the country. It's the country.
And no hair plugs.
Not one hair plug.
Not one hair plug.
This is who we have negotiating for the city of New York. We are famously supposed to be extremely good at negotiating, and the man is bald. Bald as Eric Adams. He personifies being bald. And he does all this business with Turkey. He's been there a lot. Not one time did he stop by a hair clinic.
Okay, we'll get into it when you cover that, but I'm so confused. I'm just confused by the whole thing. So I'm like, why are they taking money from Turkey? What's the benefit?
I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about at least a little bit of it. But first, let's get into this Diddy thing is really fucking escalating.
It's really escalating.
We touched on it a little bit in the last episode, and since then, it has picked up steam, if anything.
Big time. So if you want to get like a deeper dive on his past crimes, we actually did a whole episode on this a few months back, something like that.
Yeah, because we're early on the trends.
We are early on the trends. So I wanted to give a little update on Mr. Diddy. I almost called him Mr. Daddy.
Daddy
he
Diddy.
was at one point Puff Daddy, but anyway, this fucking jerk. If you've been living under a rock, unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that obviously he was arrested and charged with sex trafficking and racketeering. Racketeering, what a fun word.
Yep. It's like little U.S. Open coded.
Yeah. Right.
I always think of tennis. It's nothing to do with that.
So in his 14-page indictment, Diddy was accused of orchestrating parties known as freak-offs, during which elaborate and produced sex performances would take place, oftentimes against people's will and under duress.
That'd be a great comedy show name.
A freak-off? Yes, it would.
You guys going to Freak Off tonight? Guys, I got booked for Freak Off.
So
damn, I kind of want to start that.
You should start that.
Maybe I will. At
Why
the
not?
Stand.
Yes.
Come to Freak Off at the Stand.
And we just only book celebrities. And at the end,
like hot celebrities. I'm like, I mean, you never know.
It's just only comedians with OnlyFans.
Damn, that'd
Which
be
is
a good
a lot,
show.
honestly.
Guys, would you come? I think you'd come to that show.
I would.
You would CUM to that show. That's what
you would CUM to that show. That's funny. We
are funny.
One of the funniest little details about the raid was that he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant in his house.
So funny.
Everyone loves this.
People are obsessed with that.
They're obsessed with that. Costco famously came out and said, "Not from us, bitch."
Costco does not sell baby oil, period. And I guess 1,000 bottles is even a lot for Costco.
Yeah.
Even Costco was like, you're a fucking freak.
Yeah.
Which is hard when like they're selling like vibrators on bulk.
They are?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Is there a Costco in Brooklyn?
Yes, I think so. There's one in
Red Hook?
Industry City.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think that's a Costco.
I don't know. If there is,
I
I'm gonna
always
go.
like them, like, you know, Costco, Sam's Club and all them, they kind of like represent, I have a fucking apartment in New York. I don't get to shop at those kind of locations.
We don't get bulk. Yeah.
We bulk. I don't. The rent that I'd be paying to store bulk toilet paper is unbelievably.
Yeah. No, too much.
Overcoming the discounts pretty damn quickly right there. But yeah, I think it's a Costco because I once went and bought a sheet cake there.
Oh, very nice.
And it was delicious.
Yeah.
They make a great sheet cake.
They do. Yeah. They also make those really nice mini quiches, but we'll get off this topic. And back to Diddy.
Back to the topic.
I wonder what he served at his parties. Was it mini quiches from Costco?
Probably.
Man
likes he's buying bulk baby oil. The man likes a fucking discount.
He likes a discount. Oh, God. He is so disgusting. I fucking hate him. That's my hot take.
You're not a fan?
Really not a fan.
At least his music is good.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to you in text message, I was like, everyone's calling him like the new Epstein. And it is confusing how he generated so much power and so much influence because he has zero talent. In my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, he stinks. He fucking stinks.
He's really bad.
And
he's clearly good at like helping other artists. Like there's people who've worked in his record label that were very talented.
Right.
But not him.
Not him.
Our playlists did not change. I'll tell you that. He got canceled and we were like, oh, I have to delete 0 songs off these playlists.
Right.
That was really easy. He
stinks on ice, and it makes sense that he would have all this influence and power just by blackmailing people.
Yeah.
Similar to an Epstein vibe. Because Epstein, everyone's like, we don't really know what he does. He just has like billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So he's probably like extorting people. You never know.
Crazy hard drive somewhere.
Yes.
Literally.
So I'm kind of all over the place with these notes, but one thing I wanted to bring up was that people have been reading now Kim Porter's book that she was going to put out right before
I didn't
she got
even know
murdered.
If you don't, please go listen to that other episode because that was a really long storyline. But Kim Porter is his ex-wife that he probably
murdered.
It seems potentially possible that he may have had murdered or murdered himself. And she was supposed to release a book on him, but I didn't know the book was available because I would read that shit. Like, end the podcast. Yeah. I'm gonna go read it right now.
So I saw on TikTok some girl was reading excerpts from it, and it was essentially.
How did she get that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we can look into it and find out if we can. I'm sure we can find
the
a
Kim
copy
Porter
of it
book
somewhere.
club.
We should. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim Porter, anyway, she said that her ex-husband. So she was dating Diddy at the time, and her ex-husband and her were still friends, and Diddy had asked if they could all have a threesome, and she was like, well, this is extremely creepy.
Yeah, that's not going to go well.
Long story short, the threesome turned into just the two men having sex. And she would regularly get asked to peg him, which is like fine, but like, Diddy, you're gay and you're forcing women to do all this crazy shit. I mean, it was so fucking sad. And then she totally got murdered. She 100% got fucking murdered.
Yeah, I think she got murdered. I wonder if they're going to reopen all that stuff because back in the day, if you didn't listen, and you should have, there was weirdness with the coroner's report.
Yes.
Like the coroner's report got like redone or something like that. It was very suspicious. So I wonder if they're going to revisit that case. There's some people, it was like Kim Porter's best friend or something like that kept pushing for them to try, like the cops to go and revisit it. And everybody was like, shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah, it's
She's
brutal.
like, but this is fucking nuts. So anyway,
it's so shitty.
Justice for that lady.
So this has been, the thing about Hollywood is that this has been an open secret for a very long time. Yeah. So I'm going to read 2 quotes from Diddy's mouth. One from 1999. So he apparently in an interview with Entertainment Tonight in 1999, he said, they're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy shit just because we want to have a good time. Whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizons, people get intimidated.
People's horizons is such a PR way of positioning the free cops.
When people get raped, they really don't like it.
They get really weird about it. I don't know what it is, but I'm just broadening their horizons.
I'm just trying to expand their mind by brutally raping them and forcing them to do things that they don't want to do.
Now you know what sexual violence is like.
Right. That's a positive.
That's something.
That's a new experience for you, Justin Bieber, you 15-year-old.
Oh my God. You got to try everything once.
Oh my God. So sick.
Awful.
So that's one quote. And now there's another quote from 2002. He joked on Late Night with Conan O'Brien about his tactics for keeping women.
I can't believe beautiful dear Conan.
I know. He's so sweet.
Had to deal with
I know. Ugh. Must. Ugh.
He's the best.
So
the worst. That sucks.
I know. He said, when asked how to throw a killer party, he replied, women. Beautiful women, of course. Beautiful men for the ladies, of course. You need some water. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but a lot of ladies drink water at parties. So if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave. Got to keep them there. Need a lock on the doors. And O'Brien was like, that sounds kind of dangerous.
I am so glad he said that.
And Diddy said, it was a little kinky. So.
And Conan's like, is this a real conversation I'm having right now?
Truly.
Yikes.
Big time yikes.
Also, I feel like water must have been some sort of innuendo for him, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know. Also, like, from the video I saw of him saying that, it kind of made it seem like he was like, I don't know if you've noticed these fucking annoying ass bitches drinking water. Like, you're supposed to be getting fucked up. And I don't know. Him just like pushing things on people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just being like really like peer pressure-y.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also tried to get out of jail with like $50 million or something, and they said no.
I know. Isn't he locked up with SBF?
He is locked up with SBF.
Sorry, not to cut
Yeah,
into
actually, no, that's a perfect segue.
Wow.
So he was originally being held in solitude, which is exactly what he fucking deserves. Or actually, he deserves to get his ass kicked. But anyway, within the special housing unit at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, which is so close to here.
I know.
He's next door to us right now. Because we're pretty close to juniors.
Yeah.
And it's very close to juniors, which is very poetic because that's where he sent the people on Making the Band. Do you remember that?
Oh. No, I don't remember the details, but.
They were like uptown, I think, in Harlem. And he forced them to walk to juniors to get him a slice of cheesecake and then walk back. I don't know why the fuck they couldn't take the subway.
Yeah, that's a weird. That's just a power trip.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
Of thing. It's probably like it's good TV, but you remember it so clearly.
I do remember
and
it.
Great brand recognition for juniors.
Yes,
a delightful place to get some cheesecake.
Absolutely,
should do that at some point.
I'm gonna get the cheesecake for my baby party, I think.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah,
but yeah, really close to where Diddy is being held.
And Sam Bankman Fried. So they're in the same unit right now.
That's
which
crazy,
is
dude. The who's who is in the Brooklyn Detention Center.
They probably have a lot of similar friends, honestly.
I'm
lot
sure.
of people in common.
I wonder if Diddy may have like done one of SBF's little fucking things at some point.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hadn't run into each other before. And they're like,
I agree. Hey, what's up?
Hey, good to see you again.
Perfect circumstances.
How's life?
How you been? So the little unit that they're in is basically 18 to 20 inmates, and they range from high-profile defendants like Sean P. Diddy Combs to cooperators, inmates that need, special protection. So somebody who like ratted on the mob or something.
Yeah.
But it's a shared common living space. Wow. And also, he's reportedly on suicide watch and has been denying food because he's paranoid that he's going to get poisoned.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I really don't blame him because like what we were talking about earlier, the amount of names involved in this has just ballooned.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everyone. And again, I think we talked about this. I don't think necessarily because they went to one of the parties, they went to that portion of the party, but you must kind of know that it's not legit.
I mean, something must have told you we got to get out of here.
Right?
You know what I mean? So I'm going to talk about a few of the celebrities that are, being named and being involved in this. So, first of all, there's this singer, Jaguar Wright. She was a singer.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like some bitch.
Well,
She's like a lady.
No, she's a singer. I think she like never really took off in like a Rihanna kind of way, okay. And she's kind of insinuating that it's because she didn't participate in the freak offs and she didn't participate in stuff like that.
Well, she's like bad at it too.
Yeah. Watch her songs are just fucking horrible.
Sure.
But I have to say, like, it does feel like some of the talent that's out there. It does sort of feel like there's just someone behind the scenes, like a marionette doll being like, we're going to choose this one, and this one.
Absolutely.
Because then you hear like a fucking band at a brewery in Brooklyn, and you're like, this is the best fucking band I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And obviously like having a label pushing you is going to do a ton for your career. Right. We're not fucking new to the scene here. However, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be Rihanna.
Yeah.
It's not. They'd be a lot more Rihannas out there if they could control that.
That's true. But she's been going off on TikTok, and for years she's been going off, and people have been calling her a liar. People have been calling her insane and crazy, like a Kanye kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now she's like, "Am I fucking vindicated?"
That must
because
feel
I was saying
so
exactly
good.
this.
Oh my God, that must feel good.
I know.
Oh, I wish I could bottle that feeling up.
I know, it's so good. Well,
I was right, bitch.
have you ever seen that saying that says the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory is 6 months? Because like sometimes it
for every single
is.
one.
For every single one, without exception. But for some of them, it is.
For some of them, it definitely is.
And,
And that's a problem. Is then you all of a sudden look at all of them and you're like, oh.
Yeah, right.
But some are all right. You guys don't need us to explain that. You got it.
Right. You got it. Anyway, so she's been saying that for a really long time. She said she's 0% surprised that Diddy's in trouble and that she thinks that right now he is the acceptable villain the same way that R. Kelly was a few years ago. She's like, right, because she was like, the next person in line is Jay-Z, but it's hard to get him without getting Diddy. That's what she's claiming. She's like,
And Jay-Z's bad too?
That's what she says. I don't fucking know. She's saying that Diddy basically stole identities and stole like likelihood from these 3 guys, Big L, DeHaven, and Dan Dash. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but basically she's saying that he like ran them out of Hollywood because of like Diddy parties and.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't know.
I don't know those gentlemen.
This is all alleged, but like exactly, you don't know them.
I don't know those people.
Do you see what I mean?
That's a fair point.
So,
and I would imagine it's probably like, you know, in comedy, there's so many people who are part of stories that no one out there knows necessarily, but we just know them from being inside. So
yeah,
it's the equivalent of like a random fucking person who does book spots at New York Comedy Club.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Like, okay, well, you guys don't know them necessarily, but
but we know them.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, she's saying that Jay-Z is also got some skeletons in his closet, and he said that he kept making records with. She said that, and this is true, that he kept making records with R. Kelly even after all the information came out about him grooming Aaliyah, and it never sat right with her. So,
yeah, that's
true.
fair.
She's also claiming
that was so sad.
That was so sad.
She was great.
That fucking rocked my world as a young child.
Yeah, I was like, wait, she's gone?
How does that make sense?
Where did she go? Explain death, Mom and Dad. No, it was a little older than that.
Yeah, it was brutal. That one killed me. Selena killed me.
I was not tracking Selena.
Oh.
Was not tracking that one at all.
You didn't watch that?
Very sad.
You
Extremely
didn't watch
sad.
the J-Lo movie?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I obviously know about it now, but like when it was happening, completely missed it.
I remember crying cross-legged on my rug in front of the TV.
Oh.
It's like, Selena.
See, one I tracked really hard was the Princess Diana.
Oh.
Whoa. I was
Earth-shattering.
up at like 6 a.m. watching the funeral.
Yeah, horrible.
What the fuck?
Terrible.
You're 8 years old.
And you don't live in England.
Why are you dialed in like so hard? But I was there.
Know. I used to get wicked into like presidential elections too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like we'd watch the election and then, you know, one state would go red and we'd be like, fuck, no. And I'm 8 years old.
Give me a beer, Mom and Dad. I was
like rooting for it.
It's gonna be a rough night.
It's like the Super Bowl for me.
It is fun, like getting behind, like go team, go team.
Oh yeah.
But it causes issues eventually.
Yeah, well, you know.
What are you gonna do?
Anyway, so she's claiming that there's a freak off tape that was sold on the dark web for $500 million. I don't know how she would know that information. She goes, I follow this stuff.
Bought it.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. Who the fuck could be on that tape to be worth 500? Like,
so this is what she says.
Oh,
she says Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, and Drake are on the tape. That's what she says.
I don't know if that's still worth $500 million.
Yeah, $500 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's insane.
That's an insane amount of money.
Like, who would want that?
I would be like, it'd have to be like Putin.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Putin fucking with Obama or something.
Right.
That's $500 million right there. All right. Rihanna, I'm like,
crazy.
I mean, I don't love that for her, obviously, but
No.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Wow. Crazy.
Poor Justin Bieber. Also, like, I want to remind everyone that Justin Bieber was, like, he was kind of not under guardianship, but he was hanging out with Usher a lot. And then he, like, spent a lot of time with just the two of them, Usher and P. Diddy. And so it's alleged that he was involved in these freak-offs when he was a youth.
God.
And also, Usher lived with P. Diddy.
I remember that, which is
Which is kind of fucked up. Well, very fucked up because he was also like 15 years old. And he said on record, he was like, living with P. Diddy was crazy because you'd open a door and there'd just be people having orgies or whatever.
Which is like, insane to expose. I mean, I think it's a crime to expose a child to.
Yes, it is a crime.
I remember because I was reading about it. When I first started researching this a few months back, it was early in the case really being talked about. And that was just in a Wikipedia mention. I didn't see it anywhere else. People were talking about that. And I was like, bitch, what? He was 14? Living with him in New York City with no parents?
It's so fucked up. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. I mean, he's taking these vulnerable kids that are just like, I want to be a singer, and
exploiting them. So many of our stories have that theme, I feel like. Just exploiting like people who have big dreams and are just vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. It's
anyway,
really
so
sick.
Don't dream. That's what we're saying.
Do not dream. I have no dreams. I'd like to do bar shows forever.
Well, you have that baby. You got to dream about the baby now.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. But the baby's going to stay safe and out of the limelight.
Okay. In the belly. Keep him in the belly then.
But Suge Knight, you know that fucking crazy lunatic?
Mm-hmm. Not like a lot about him. I just know I've heard the name a lot.
Terrifying man.
Great.
He is actually currently serving 28 years in a California jail because of voluntary manslaughter. Not involuntary. On purpose, he killed somebody. Murder.
For murder.
And he
to be fair, a lot of their songs are like, I murdered this person, and then I sold him drugs.
And these teardrops
and I beat women.
These teardrops mean I murdered someone, and I have 10 of them. And then
the police show up and they're like, so we heard your song on the radio. We have a few follow-up questions on that.
That was actually one of my very early jokes where I was like, why the fuck are we not just rounding up every person with a teardrop tattoo? Like, hey, you confess to a crime.
It's right there.
It's right there.
I'm up on the gang stuff. That means bad things.
Anyway, so Suge Knight has recently claimed that people like Jay-Z and Dr. Dre were privy to Puff's crimes. He's also directed his energy at some major powers within the music industry, some of whom have their own public skeletons, like Russell Simmons, who I talked about, I think, at some point. He's got some sexual assault stuff against him. Clive Davis, Jimmy Iovine. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I think they're like high ups in the record labels.
Oh, okay.
And he said that he claimed that Diddy was taught this behavior by the people before him.
Not an excuse.
Not an excuse.
But fair enough. Part of the culture.
Yeah. So pretty fucking nuts. Also, I want to talk about, people are pointing out in Kanye's famous video, it's like a giant white bed with 1 million people in it. And people are like, that's a reference, yeah. to Diddy's freak offs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, I mean, I think we'll definitely be revisiting this over time.
We will.
More and more is going to come out. Do you think he'll die?
I think he might die.
Also, everybody right now is just watching him like, don't die.
If he dies or commits suicide or whatever, we will. I kind of believe all these things then. If he doesn't and nothing comes out, then I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Also, if Jay-Z and Beyonce, God forbid, and this is all alleged, so don't come at me, Bayhive, but if they...
We don't want that to be a thing.
We don't want that to be a thing.
I like Beyonce. I don't.
I would actually hope
very
the
upset.
opposite. But if they split, I think it's because Beyonce would be trying to distance herself from him before he got indicted.
Speaking of which, J-Lo
and Ben Affleck, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so people are saying now that they split because he wanted to distance himself before all this came out, because she famously was with Diddy for a few years. That really sketchy thing with the shooting at the nightclub happened.
She was like hiding weapons for Diddy.
Yeah.
So there's no shot this entire case does not at some point bring her name into it.
100%.
I think Ben was just like, I can't do it.
I can't do this. You're
like, so mean.
You're very mean to me.
And like court, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Agreed.
Gotta go.
Also, 50 Cent, who is always hysterical in these situations.
Who would have thought that 50 Cent would be the good guy in all of this?
He's very funny.
His stuff was very violent back in the day.
Oh, yeah. He said that he is now executive producing Surviving P. Diddy.
That's so
which
great.
Will be fucking amazing. And the last person I wanted to talk about was Eminem, because Eminem, like, essentially spelled it out for us in one of
Wait,
those
yeah.
songs.
That one was Eminem. I love him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's probably done bad things too, so I haven't looked that much into it. Don't fucking come at me. But that, like, being able to do that when Diddy had so much power in his industry,
Yeah.
is pretty, like, that man walks the walk.
That's true.
Do you have the quote?
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I can pull it up.
It would be like if we were like randomly going after Matt Rife. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's somebody with a lot of influence.
Let's see if I can find the lyrics. I'll rap Eminem lyrics to you real quick.
Also, Cat Williams. Remember that? Remember he made that appearance on the Club Shay podcast where he said all this crazy shit, which now is turning out to not be that crazy.
It was. I feel like when everything really started, that was like strike one. I feel like.
Absolutely.
He goes.
And he named Diddy by name in that. I fucking love Cat Williams.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
Ew. Diddy is so disgusting.
He goes, a R-A-P-E-R, got so many essays. Wait, didn't he just spell rapper and leave out a P? Did he?
Oh,
He's so good.
That's amazing.
I mean, you have to read that a couple times to be like, what?
That's really...
Essays, sexual assaults. Wait, did he spell a rapper and leave out a P? Diddy. God damn it, you're good at your job, Eminem.
That's amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. New stuff, it's fine.
Yeah.
Latest album, not for me specifically, but keep it up.
I saw something that was like, his lawyers ask that people, reserve judgment. I'm like, no. I'm sorry. There was a video of you beating the shit out of a woman. Go to fucking hell.
That alone? No. And he apologized for it. He was like, I'm sorry.
I don't give a fuck that you're sorry.
Speaking of which.
What?
Speaking of beating women.
Oh, God. Matthew. What have you been up to?
No, my Saturday night in Austin, Texas. Texas. You don't get to say fucking shit about violence in New York City. I was walking down the street. We were down there last weekend. And I saw that guy like trying to throw a woman into a car.
No, it's insane.
It was crazy. And I like ran up to him and I threw a cup of water on the man.
Oh my God.
And Matt and my other friend Eugene were behind me and they were like, please, okay, you don't need to, like, he's clearly not upset about hurting women. Maybe don't like get in the fucking mix.
Oh my God.
But he did stand down at that point and he was like, it's not what it looks like. And I'm like, it is.
So what was he? He was trying to like shove her into the car.
He was like wrestling her and trying to like throw her into the car was like on the side with the door open.
Oh my God. Why the fuck was he doing that?
Yeah, because he said she was it was like his girlfriend allegedly. But I then spoke to her and he said that she was like too drunk. And then she ran away and he's like, she's getting away. And I go, what, dude?
Oh my God.
So I went and talked to her and she's like, thank you for getting me away from him. She was not drunk.
Getting away is an interesting
exactly. I was
use of words.
I was like, what is happening here? I don't like this at all.
Very
But
strange.
she did get away, thank God. And hopefully gets out of that relationship.
If she even knows
or
him.
If I don't even know.
Wow.
What a crazy time, though.
That's insane.
There's a little personal Diddy scenario right there. Little localized Diddy situation.
I can't believe you just had a random cup of water. Like,
I had just walked out of doing a show and I had like a cup of water from the bar that I was just like, it's hot, and then I was like, oh, I'll throw this on him. Cool him off. What a fucking stupid thing to do. He could have had a gun.
Yeah, he could have had a
Texas.
knife. He could have had anything.
Could have done that. Could have escalated, but it didn't. Instead, I got to walk away and be like, my hands are shaking.
Oh my God, that's so insane,
dude! It was nuts.
That's so wild.
Nuts.
You might have stopped a rape or a murder.
A rape. RAPED SA.
Exactly. So what's going on with Mayor Adams?
All right. Speaking of, no, it's unrelated. Well, actually, I will say that 50 Cent was mocking Eric Adams because Eric Adams had given Diddy the key to New York.
When?
Do you remember this?
No.
Oh my God. It's not a great look now.
No, it's not.
Not a great look. Right here. This is a picture of right over Times Square, the two of them making... Is that a heart?
It's
with their hands?
Heart, yeah.
They're holding their hands up together, making a heart, which is pretty gay. Say that. But anyway, they are celebrating the key to the city. in September 2023. Oh shit. 1 exact year later, both of them dealing with the law.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That is crazy.
So 50 Cent was like, "You're a fucking idiot." And he was. He did, to be fair, ask for the key to the city back from Diddy in June 2024 when the Cassie video came out.
Yeah.
And Diddy did comply and returned
good.
this, I'm assuming, metaphorical key to the city. I don't really know why we're still giving these out.
I don't know either. It's very weird.
Does it come with like
I'll
a
take
cash
one.
prize? Yeah.
Put
It's
it in my
really
foyer.
big. Like, what fucking door is that to? Like the L train or something? What is this? What is this running?
Super weird. Wow, that's so crazy, that little connection.
Isn't it? It's all related, folks. But yeah, so if you haven't been if you've been under a rock, or actually it's not even the biggest news in New York City, I also wanted to note jaywalking is slated to be legalized.
Legalized?
Yeah.
Oh
I was
God.
looking up New York City news and that popped up and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it already is.
And we already do it.
In my life.
100% of the time. That's how I prefer to travel.
Yeah.
That's my preferred way of walking across the street.
Same.
But yeah, so if you haven't been looking at New York City politics, the mayor has been indicted for taking funds from Turkey.
You know what's being insane? And I might be incorrect about this, but I saw that he was the first mayor ever to be indicted.
In office.
In office. Okay. While in office. But still.
You'd think. I mean, I feel like it's, especially because there's such an aura of corruption around New York City politics, I was a little bit surprised by that.
I know. Because I said this to you off air. I was like, but it definitely reeks of like someone just wants him out. And they're like, okay, we're going to tell on him about all this stuff that everyone else just does.
Probably. No, I completely. And even on reading into this, I'm like, I cannot imagine he's the first person to have taken funds from another group.
Ain't no fucking.
And I got it. All right. I have a very spicy take on this whole thing. So Eric Adams gets paid, and he's mayor. So he's like fucking head honcho. $258,000 a year.
Oh.
There's your problem.
Yeah.
We need to be, I think we should be paying government officials a lot more.
I agree.
Like,
Why
wouldn't
are we
that
paying
solve a
them
lot of our problems?
Why are we paying them so little? I mean, that's a lot of money, but
it's
not,
obviously a lot of money, but
it's not worth that job. That job's hard.
When you look at the equivalent position, like running New York City is, I would say you could argue at least a Fortune 500 company, if not Fortune 200.
At least.
At least. And the equivalent position of CEO at one of those organizations is getting paid $6 million.
Yep.
Maybe more, depending on the group. Let's say on average about $6 million. What the fuck? So it just opens the door where it's like, do you want them to be corrupt? Do you want them to take money from other places? And you can say the whole like they should be moral and stuff. Well, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. There's like 10 of those people that exist.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go fucking put up mosquito nets in Africa or something like that. You know, like do like actually like really humanitarian things.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like it's just not realistic.
I
agree.
We
keep running into this.
And then we're like, I can't believe Nancy Pelosi's,
I know.
doing insider trading. And it's like, well, believe it.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
Bitch wants to have fucking nice money. She wants to eat the good ice cream bars.
She wants a good ice cream
She wants good ice cream bars.
In her tone-deaf ass house.
Yeah. How's she going to afford them? I mean, I don't know. I guess I think that's a hot take I'm willing to stand behind. I think we should be paying them more. So that they can stop this shit. This one was also super lame. So I was reading through, if you've, again, like, I think it was yesterday, the 26th that it came out, this 59-page indictment of Eric Adams. And they're, going through this whole thing right now, getting more information from him. Was he going to get arrested or?
I don't know. I mean, he was
work?
indicted.
So doesn't that mean he would?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't really know.
He probably should resign.
He should probably resign.
Okay. Well, putting that aside, we'll just talk about what happened. But they released this thing, and it has all the details of what went down with his relations with Turkey, and it's all accepting cheap flights and hotels and stuff like that, which is kind of fucking lame, in my opinion.
Yeah. Who cares?
I mean, it's not good to have foreign influence. I can absolutely appreciate that. That's really bad. But the stuff that he was taking it for, I was like, okay, was it worth it that much?
Yeah, right.
It's not like he was giving him millions of dollars in real estate.
That's what I was thinking was happening.
No.
Like reading
Not
the
that
headlines, I was like, oh, he's the fucking, making calls in Turkey. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll go into more detail on that, but like backing up a little bit, all of this started a few months back where they started doing these investigations into people in his orbit. So other people in leadership. And I think we saw that like every couple of weeks, there would be another person who had like a big case around him. Mm-hmm. But there were people I didn't care about. So I didn't follow up.
Correct.
It would be like the fucking Brianna Suggs, former chief fundraiser. I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what your job is.
I don't care at all. The Phillips Bank III, deputy mayor for public safety. Don't fucking care at all. The school's chancellor.
Sure.
Local government people. But it was a lot of them. I will tell that. It was like 17 different people who had tracking investigations into his orbit. And through this case, a lot of their names will come up as it related to Eric Adams. So I feel like they were trying to close in on him and like opening the doors to all these things. And these people did commit crimes allegedly as well, to varying degrees, right? And there are a lot of different types of scams involved in this. This could probably be its own podcast series, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like there was like a bishop involved for a while, like the bedazzled bishop or something. I don't know. And then one of the guys.
Bedazzled bishop?
Yeah, it was a guy who stole like $90,000 from one of his like people in the parish, or the parish, but you know what I mean?
Whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, in his group, in his church. And then the police commissioner had got his phone seized in a probe where he was like, I guess, involved in a possible nightclub protection scheme. I don't know. Like a lot of different things.
I have no idea what that means.
His chief legal advisor resigned, which means when your legal advice people are like, we got to go.
They're just like, we can't win this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, the retainer's not even worth.
Right.
All the bullshit.
The bullshit
here.
And like the bad PR for me. And
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Fire department chiefs got involved in it. They were charged with bribery, corruption, and false statements. We'll talk about that more in a moment. And then eventually they caught all the way up to Adams himself, which was what happened yesterday. Look at him. He looks so sad.
He does look sad, yeah.
I don't know a ton about him. I'll say it. I went back and looked into it a little bit because I was like, I don't fucking know.
I know he used to be a cop.
Yeah, I knew he was an ex-cop, and I knew he was like from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like Brooklyn Borough.
Yeah.
Mayor, whatever the equivalent position is called.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let's look a tiny bit into his background. Besides being a cop, what was his deal? He was born in Brownsville, actually. He was born in 1960, and his mom was a house cleaner and received only a third grade education.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Oh no, that's
I know.
Terrible.
Well, yeah. And his dad was a butcher who struggled with alcohol abuse, which sucks if it's that bad that's in your fucking Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. Yikes. Both of his parents moved here from Alabama in the 1950s. Wonder why.
I have no guesses.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
Wonder why they came here. And he was raised they were extremely poor, raised in a rat-infested tenement in Bushwick, Brooklyn. To be fair, everywhere in New York's rat-infested.
Yeah, but
no, I mean, I'm kind of kidding.
As somebody who performs over in that neighborhood quite often, that neighborhood stinks, even still.
It's pretty...
I'm sure in 1960, it was literally the gates of hell.
Quite literally ratty.
Yeah, there's a lot of rats and...
And he was very poor, so poor that he actually often brought with him a bag of clothes to school when he went to class, because it was not uncommon for there to be a sudden eviction from his home.
Oh my God.
I know.
Poor Mayor Adams.
I know.
That's so sad.
But by 1968, his mom had managed to save up money to buy a house, and she moved the family to Queens. Not that like things were like fucking great from there, but either way, it was a little bit better.
Yeah.
He was the fourth of 6 children. And as a young boy, he would earn money as a squeegee boy. I don't know why that was included, but very cute. At age 14, he joined a gang.
Oh, no.
He's a former gang member.
Oh, my God.
How hardcore. The 7 Crowns. And he was referred to as a tough little guy. This is all from his Wikipedia, folks.
I mean...
He would hold money for local hustlers, ran errands, and which included purchasing groceries for a dancer and part-time prostitute.
Wow.
Named Mickey.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So basically it sounded like he was 14, which probably is young for even a gang. And they were like, here's just like some random fucking task rabbits
right.
for you to go to for the gang.
Oh, I feel so bad for young Mayor Adams.
I know.
He had a really rough go.
Kind of incredible how far he's come.
Absolutely.
So after Mickey refused to pay for the groceries he purchased for her, they stole her TV and a money order, and then they were arrested for that. While they were in police custody, they were beaten up by the NYPD until a black cop came and intervened and saved them. Oh. This was back in like the 60s, so I can't imagine this was, this was quite the situation.
Yeah, I can't imagine they treated him fairly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he went to juvie for a few days, and afterwards he just said that he had a lot of PTSD from the incident.
I bet.
But was intrigued by the black police officer and the swagger and respect that came with being in law enforcement. So weirdly, after this, he decided to get into being a cop.
Interesting.
It's weird to be like beaten to shit by police and then being like, I want to join that group.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Get in the mix.
It also make way more sense if he was like, I wanted to help,
others
de-escalate this and get it to be
maybe that's part of what it was.
Yeah, but it's just
maybe that's a better interpretation of reading this. I'm like, he thought it was cool.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, maybe you should focus on
the bright side.
Trying to I don't know, challenge the thoughts of
oh yeah,
that
absolutely,
are beating the shit out of innocent people.
And for sure, I mean, he definitely does a lot of police reform is something that he, and especially having it for his community is important to him, which is awesome. I think that's really cool that he was able to go. We need the cops.
Of course.
We should have the cops who are designed to protect all New Yorkers, all Americans, all of us.
That's Laura's political speech.
I am running for mayor now because the position is open.
Pays pretty good too.
It's not bad. Okay, so he went to Bayside High School and he was not getting good grades. But then he went to college and got treated for dyslexia and made the dean's list.
Wow.
I know.
Look at that.
Look at him go. And so he's become a really strong advocate for early dyslexia screening in public schools.
That's great.
It is great. So he goes into being the police side, eventually works his way into the politics side. This part gets a lot more boring, so I'm not going to go through all the whole history there. I thought his background was kind of interesting.
The background's very interesting.
Right?
Because, I mean,
I didn't realize he was fucking poor.
Yeah. Right.
Poor. Crazy. Aww. Poor guy. So I definitely not a politics expert here. I just went and highlighted some of the old scandals I found because people don't like him.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know why. They were just he's corrupt.
But I also kind of think that being the mayor of New York, one of the things that you have to do or you have to bear with is that New York City, we come together all to hate the mayor.
We
That's
are
what we do.
Professional haters.
Yeah, we are.
You have decided to be mayor of the city of haters.
You could be the perfect mayor and people just hate your fucking guts.
No, not one person has been people are going after a black man online.
No, never.
Not once.
Not one. Remember de Blasio? Everyone fucking hated. I didn't know anything about de Blasio, and I was like, yeah.
Fuck that guy. We just don't like him.
We don't like him.
It's because you take all the anger you have on this city out on this person.
Yeah.
Anything goes wrong, and you're like, Mayor Adams.
Right.
God damn it. The L train is late. This is bullshit.
That is fucking bullshit, though, honestly. It's crazy. What's bullshit about it is that no other major city internationally or in the country has the issues that we have.
We just accept that. And what kills me is we don't communicate anything.
No.
So it's not even is it doesn't work, but then no, you don't tell anyone.
You don't fucking
goddamn secret.
You just get down into the subway, you pay your fare, and then it's L train not running. You're like, God fucking damn it.
Can you tell me?
Yeah,
why is there not an app where I can easily access this information?
I don't know. It seems
I have some weird ad app that I get information from.
I don't know.
It's probably Chinese malware on my phone to get the New York. It's probably from Turkey. Actually, it's Turkish malware.
Yep.
So it's not that bad, actually. Okay, so I just wanted to go through and I was like, what are some of his old scandals? Some stuff that kind of pops up that's interesting. There was a lot of different things of varying degrees, so I decided to vote them various things. Most blue collar one was when he went to go to study a racetrack, and he came under investigation for his handling of choosing an operator to run the gambling operations at an Aqueduct racetrack in Queens. A report conducted by the state inspector general was critical of his judgment as he leaked information on the bidding process. What? Go away. Got a call. As he leaked information on the bidding process, fundraised from potential bidders, and attended the victory celebration of the company awarded the contract. So I think specifically in something like with a gambling involved, they get really, really, really tight on like keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
But he went to the party afterwards. Not supposed to do that. And he referred to it as a political hit piece. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
The most Diddy coded one, besides giving Diddy that literal key to the fucking New York City. In February 2010, he was one of just 8 members of the New York Senate who voted not to expel Senator Hiram Monserrate from the legislature after he was convicted of assault for dragging his girlfriend down a hallway and slashing her face with a piece of glass.
Oh, wow.
That's not great.
That is very Diddy coded. How can you possibly defend that?
I don't know why he was like, no, this guy's cool. We should keep him around.
I don't know. Men will defend men
They
at
really
the expense of women.
They really will.
Not to be that person, but I mean, look at the evidence I have in front of me.
I know. I look at what we've just been talking about. Okay, well, that one's sad. Moving on. Most Nepo baby core. So shortly after becoming mayor, he sought a waiver from the Conflicts of Interest Board to hire his brother, Bernard, for a $210,000 paying job for the NYPD, where he would serve as the head of his personal security detail. And he was chosen for the job and started working 2 days after he was inaugurated. He was accused of nepotism. Adams said white supremacy and anarchists are on the rise and suggested he can trust no one in the police department as much as he can his own kin. Honestly, I'm kind of don't blame him on that one.
Well, yeah. And also, I mean, he would know better than anybody the corruption and bullshit that goes on in the NYPD.
Absolutely.
So.
I don't necessarily think that one's fine. I'm assuming his brother probably worked in security.
I mean, yeah.
If he was just like a random, I'd be like, all right,
then that would be crazy.
Yeah. Funniest racism. In early February 2022, a video of Adams from 2019 leaked in which then borough president, like while he was the president of Brooklyn, boasted about being a better cop than his cracker colleagues. Can I say that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically
it feels aggressive, but it's about me.
I mean, I think it's like a slur technically, but
should I blur that?
No.
Okay. No. I think that's okay, right?
I think it's fine.
It does feel weird to say that.
We're 2 white women.
I know.
It's okay.
I'm not going to say it again. Okay, Adams apologized for his comments, saying, "I apologize not only to those who heard it, but to New Yorkers because they should expect more from me, which was inappropriate." If that's the worst you've called those people, it's no way that's the worst you've called those people.
No.
His colleagues are like, hey, we are that. Anyway, people definitely think he's corrupt, though. I'm sure he is. I'm sure they all are. Again, I have a very, very low opinion of politicians. Specifically, if you recall, so he won the Democratic nomination for mayor, which in New York, it's almost always a Democrat. I think it's always a Democrat for like a really fucking long time.
Giuliani.
Yeah. So the New York Democratic primary is basically the mayoral run. Like it's like a lot of attention on it. And this is when he was running against Andrew Yang.
Remember that, yeah.
Andrew Yang came in and was like, listen, I don't fucking know you guys, but I bet I can do this.
Yeah.
And New York was like, nah, dude, get out of here. But anyway, here's a little quote from there.
Know that you've been investigated for corruption everywhere you've gone. City, state, even Barack Obama's Department of Justice investigated you. You've achieved the rare trifecta of corruption investigations.
So yeah.
Good for Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang has now retweeted that old video and was like,
I love that.
I mean, what did I say? What did I say?
Now he's right.
When you're right, you're right.
When you're right, you're right.
Anyway, he won anyway, and I was looking into it. I was like, why did he win if he was like so corrupt or whatever? And it's because New York's fucking stupid.
Well, we don't care about corruption.
We don't see that as a negative, I guess.
Honestly, I'm kind of like, you got to play ball.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And people were saying online, they were like, he's a career politician, a favor trading machine, and realistically, like kind of to your point, he looked a lot more experienced in politics in New York than Andrew Yang. We're like, get the fuck out of here. I
don't even think he lives here.
I don't think he lives here, and he also has no idea like how everything works from the ground up. And I will say this for Eric Adams, he does.
He does.
He for sure knows how all the different departments works for like in that sense.
That's true.
More specifically, though, he had spent years taking care of his friends in government. And so when the time come, his friends did the same thing to him. They turned out their constituents and in support of him, and he had backing of like the unions and stuff like that. They knew who he was versus, again, not to pick on Andrew Yang, like a fine guy, but they were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Also, of course, most people don't give a shit about the details. All they saw was that he was black, blue collar, and a former cop, and this was at a time when there was a lot of crime going on in New York.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
where there was all this stuff about like defund the police and stuff like that, and
he was like, "No, we're gonna
he was like,
not do that."
We're gonna
and people were like, "Thank you, this is insane."
Exactly. I mean, like obviously that got a lot of media attention and stuff like that, but I think most people in New York are like, "No, dude, like absolutely not. We need to have some cops around." And
if you live here, you would agree.
Yeah. And so he was able to get, and then the last part is most people don't vote for mayor. Like they really don't. They really don't. And this was the Democratic primary. So not just are you getting people not vote, like people don't vote much. They specifically don't vote much on local elections, and then specifically not much in Democratic primaries.
True.
It's a very, very small amount of people who are involved in this.
Definitely didn't vote in the primary, but I think I did vote for mayor, and I can't for the life of me remember who I voted for, so there's that.
I mean, if you voted for mayor, you probably voted for him versus the Republican, who I don't recall who it was, but like he won by a bajillion.
Yeah.
The end.
Great.
Maybe there were some other like fringe people on there, but
yeah, right.
Anyway.
Cool.
So, okay. So he was mayor, and we had highlights like a lot of shootings in the subway. That just seems to be a thing we're doing now.
That's just a thing we're doing.
Don't know why that happened. Adams, consider working on that. He also introduced plainclothes cops again in response to this, which people got really pissed about. I don't have a ton of really big feelings on this, but I do think it's ridiculous how much they kept trying to crack down on people not paying the fare.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't care. But like,
I don't care.
Recently, there was the one where the person jumped the turnstile, and then there was a shooting in which the cops shot another cop.
I remember that. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, and they kept like talking about it, and everyone was like, "One of our cops died in this," and it was like, "Okay, well, you're leaving out a pretty important detail."
Yeah, it was like over a fare.
Also, the cop, it was shot by another cop.
Yeah.
The person who was getting arrested had no gun.
Right.
So he had no way of shooting.
It's crazy.
So that's, I mean, it's very sad, but it's kind of on you. Anyway, put a robot cop in the subway. Really liked changing the way cops do things.
He did.
Didn't really do a lot, though.
No.
And then famously, as we already talked about, gave the keys to the city to Diddy. He also was like kind of a funny dude in the sense of when he spoke, didn't always make a ton of sense.
No, he
For
sounded
instance,
like an idiot. Which apparently you don't need to make a lot of sense as a politician these days.
You don't have to be well spoken. I thought that was like a really critical component.
Nope.
It turns out not at all. For instance, he was on Pix11.com's Picks on Politics, some local show, I'm assuming, and gets asked this question.
When you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York. This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe. Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Why did you mean? He goes, the greatest part of
New York is you can see a plane fly into two buildings.
I would like to remind you of 9/11.
Yeah.
Let's bring it all back to what we were really thinking about. 9/11.
That's so
This
ridiculous.
guy was like, I don't know, dude.
What are you talking about?
Entrepreneurship, maybe? You could have just come up with anything, but you immediately took it to 9/11. Anyway, okay, so now that brings us back to what is happening right now. What is he getting charged with at this moment? I read through not all 59 pages, but a lot of the pages, okay? So if I missed some stuff, it was on pages 35 to 59. And you can go ahead and let me know what they said there. But basically what I was able to conclude from that was there's straw donations from foreign entities. So what that means is that he had this relationship with Turkey, which I'll talk more about in a second. But through that, he had, you're obviously, as a mayoral candidate, when you're fundraising, not allowed to raise money from other countries. That'd be bananas.
Right.
Obviously. They have to come through like normal places. Corporations have a limit on how much they can donate to you. And then so do individuals, but a lot of individuals can obviously do so. And what Turkey did is they gave people money to donate from themselves to his campaign.
Got it. Okay.
That's why it's called a straw donation.
Right.
And to make it worse, there is a fund matching program. So in New York City, in order to if I make a donation to fucking Eric Adams or whatever, in order to have more weight behind it, they will match your individual contributions up to 8 times, 8x what you contributed through the public funds for campaigns. And this is all to give New Yorkers a greater voice in the elections, since obviously if I'm trying to go head to head with BlackRock in contributions,
right,
what are we doing?
Yeah.
So that means because of the donations he was receiving from Turkey, he also now received about $10 million in funding directly from the city budget.
Whoa.
Because of all the fake, the illegal money he got from Turkey donations.
Wow.
That's not great.
That's not great.
And this was at the same time as them slashing the budgets for the New York public, the libraries and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff that people were pretty upset about. So why did he do this? Obviously, he wanted money for his mayoral election stuff. And he was really, really adamant about saying, this is, elections are won with money.
Yeah, right.
All the other stuff around it is bullshit, realistically.
100%.
It's just a matter of just having more backing behind you, which we could probably honestly pay more attention to. But anyway, he wanted stuff from there. He had this relationship with Turkey. In 2015, he was introduced to the Turkish Airlines general manager for New York. And he traveled to India, purchased economy class tickets for herself and Adams. So in the lawsuit, they're referring to a lot of the people involved, but all Adams and his partner, his scheduler, there's a couple of different people.
Who cares? You get free flights. Who gives a shit?
So in this case, he went and bought economy class tickets for about $2,200. And 2 days before they were scheduled to depart, they got upgraded to business class, which was costing approximately $15,000.
Okay.
For free. Okay.
Yeah.
On a flight to India, that's great, but okay. It's not good to take that from a foreign organization, but
right.
Again in 2017, no, it's not worth it. In 2017, he went to Nice, France, Istanbul, Colombo, Sri Lanka, and Beijing, China. And they were accepting, again, free business class tickets from Turkish Airlines worth more than $35,000 for himself and his companions. Damn. And then again in 2017, he went to Nepal through Istanbul and Beijing, and he was able to get more tickets from New York to Istanbul and Istanbul to Beijing, more than $16,000 total. While he was in his mayoral campaign, he would communicate a lot with these Turkish Airlines people, and the Adams staffer was doing this text message exchange with the airline manager, and he goes, "How much does he owe? Please let them call me and I will make the payment." And the airline manager is saying, "It is very expensive because it is last minute. I'm working on a discount." And he goes, "Okay, thank you." The airline manager says, "I'm going to charge $50. He goes, "No, that wouldn't work, wouldn't it?" "No, dear, $50? What? Quote a proper price." "How much should I charge?" Smiley face. "His every step is being watched right now. $1,000 or so. Let it be somewhat real.
Oh.
We don't want them to say he is flying for free." At the
Yikes.
moment, the media's attention is on Eric.
Yikes.
So they knew that this was not allowed. And I will say, when you're working for the government, you have to report all the gifts you receive. There's a lot of rules on it. You certainly are not allowed to accept gifts over $1,000. Sometimes in my work, I will interact with some of the local government people, and we can't do anything.
Yeah.
We can't bring them fucking sandwiches.
Right.
I'm sure somewhere out there are people who are unethical who figured out a loophole, but I don't give a shit enough.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna show up and smile. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's about it.
That's it. And for the most part, the people are pretty good about respecting that.
Yeah.
He also got free hotels.
Go soon.
So he got free hotels. He got hooked up with a lot of different things. You can kind of get the sense of he was giving a lot of money, and you have to disclose over $1,000. So what did he give back to Turkey? Oh, and then finally, Turkey was contributing to his campaign.
Right.
In September 2021, he was they were trying to build a new Turkish consular building, which is a 36-story skyscraper here in New York. And the Turkish president was coming into New York, and Mayor Adams went to the fire department of New York and had them approve their fire permits without it being legit, like without it actually passing any of that stuff.
Big fucking deal.
Yes. It is not great at all. And the Turkish officials were very grateful. They said, from the commissioner, letter being drafted now, everything should be good to go Monday morning. And they replied to him when he told them it was all good. You are great, Eric. We are so happy to hear that. You are a true friend of Turkey. He replied back, yes, even more a true friend of yours. You are my brother. I am here to help.
Turkey is such a random country to me.
I know.
It's so random.
And it was involved with that Israel thing too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Or was that Hungary?
No, I think that's Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I mix them up.
Not sure.
So anyway, point being, really it all kind of comes down to this like Turkish relationship, it seems like, which definitely seems improper for sure, but I don't doubt that other politicians have had the same thing.
I agree. I think with some countries somewhere, they were getting something.
100%.
This is just what politicians do.
Yeah.
Politicians are not your friends. If you're idolizing any politician, fucking stop it, because you know what? They're going to let you down.
You're being naive.
You're being naive as fuck.
I definitely understand what Turkey wanted to do, though, because they thought that Eric Adams was in line to eventually become president. And they wanted to build that relationship with him early so that they would have,
They were dead wrong. Why would they think that?
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have pushed for the stupid skyscraper permit.
No, that's so stupid.
It's going to get approved. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Ridiculous.
But anyway, that's what's up. There'll definitely be more on that story since it's literally happening yesterday.
True. I have to run to a hair appointment.
Oh my God.
So
Follow
like and
us.
subscribe. Follow us. May_planner. Follow the podcast at Risque Business News. Follow Mayor Adams. Maybe he's going to say something crazy.
Or follow me.
And please subscribe to our YouTube. That is,
we like our YouTube.
We like our YouTube. We're trying to grow the numbers there. Please tell your friends. We'd really appreciate it. And